Great night game. We've always had awesome scenes at our night games. The weather looks like it's going to cooperate for us, and so I'm really excited to see what our fans bring to the table. I got high expectations for them also.
You got an extended look at Isaiah Prince as your right tackle last year after Riley went down. What did you see from him, and what did you like about his game when he was in that role last year?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job, and that's why he's in the mix this year. And again, Frank does a great job of just pushing all those guys, no matter if it's Isaiah or Hakeem or Jackson Carmen or Deontay, all those guys pushing them for the opportunity when it comes up.
Do you have a position like that where it's not like a clear cut number two, like in those discussions happen? Is it like a debate? Is it like they present you what your assistants kind of give you information that you make the decision? Like how would you kind of characterize that sort of decision making?
Yeah, it's not. We always have conversations with the people that are necessary to conversate with, and so same thing happened when we lost. Really our first and second nickel a couple weeks ago. And you're just talking to Lou and talk about it and what makes the most sense. And so again, these situations arise over the course of the season at different spots, and you always factor in the position coach, the coordinators, and whoever needs to be involved.
How have those guys handled the news of that?
Really well. We got a really tight knit room. The most important thing is winning, and so again, it honestly reminds me of an awesome quote Chase Wolf, St. X grad, had the other day when he played at Wisconsin. They beat out Oklahoma State, OSU in my mind. And his quote was, "The only thing that matters is winning." As everybody waits for their number to be called, they're always prepared. It's not about my performance; it's about the team winning. I thought that was an awesome quote. That local Cincinnati kid had when he finally got his opportunity, and it's no different for our guys right now. Their number's called. It's a great opportunity for them to help the team win, and that's really the only thing that matters. Let me get Jeremy first. Jeremy's been waiting there, and I'll come back to you then.
Sam Hubbard, what are your thoughts on him and his chances to play right now?
We'll see. Like I said earlier, we'll see day to day. He was out there doing a little bit today, and then we'll just see where he's at through the week.
And then lastly, I just wanted to ask about the one seed. Are you guys having conversations about that right now?
No.
Or is it more of an expectation to win and see what happens?
Nope. It's just narrow focus on the next 4 days at this point to get to Monday. And again, every goal we've ever had goes through Buffalo right now, and this opportunity that's right in front of us. And so we got to handle business Monday night before we can focus on anything else. Sorry, Ben.
Since you saw my question, it's a different one. Is there anything that you could learn? Does beating the Bills, or just anything that you learned in this game, teach you anything new about your team you don't already know at this point in the year?
Well, we haven't even played the game yet, so this team has handled this week so far. This is a Wednesday practice for us. I thought we had a really good start to the week, and it's just important to continue to build off of that. I think there's a good energy at practice today. I have felt that really every step of the way this season, and that's why I've always sat up here with the confidence that even when things were tough at the beginning of the year, that we were going to continue to rise to the expectations. And I've seen that from the team all the way through, including today. I expect to see it tomorrow. And so, again, I'm just excited that these guys get this opportunity on Monday.
But really, so the result of this game, no matter how it goes, you feel like you know what this team is going to do in this game between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, we've had how many games? 15 games, and so we got a pretty good feel for the identity of the team, and now it's just going out there and playing great on Monday.
Zach, you guys have a reason for everything you do in this building. So the player like Isaiah, who spent a lot of the season on the practice squad, there obviously has to be a reason for that. So why has it been a matter of him not being healthy enough? Why has he been on the practice squad?
Well, Isaiah specifically, he got hurt in training camp, and so he started the season on IR. So he missed some opportunities early in the year. But all those guys, they practice the same, whether they're on the practice squad or the 53-man roster. You wouldn't know that if you didn't have a roster in front of you and you were at practice. You would not know that. Those guys get the bulk of their reps. Again, the non-starters with the scout team as they give the look to the defense. And like I said earlier, Frank and Derek Frazier do a great job of rotating those guys through at all the spots. And so you see those guys every single day. Taking pretty equal reps, getting opportunities because you never know when you're a backup offensive lineman. Am I going to be a left tackle, right tackle, left guard? You just never know. So you got to be ready for all of them. And so, again, I think Eric and Frank have done a great job of making sure those guys are prepared for any scenario that can pop up and any position. Isaiah being included in that mix.
Hayden Hurst ready to go.
Hayden Hurst looked good today. So, again, it's like I always try to do. I try to be cautious as the week goes, but all signs are positive right now.
What does he bring to the offense? Like Joe Burrow was talking about the explosiveness,
Yeah.
getting vertical, some things unique to Hayden's skill set that he brings.
Yeah, he's a great tight end in this league, and sure hands, explosive, like you said, great energy. When he makes a play, it really fires up the team. And there's a lot of guys like that, and not everybody has to be that way. You need guys on your team that bring the energy to the table. And Hayden's one of those guys. I think especially in these home games, when he makes a big play, he's excited, the team's excited, the fans are excited. So that's an important element to have, and it's very valuable to have on your team. And Hayden brings that to the mix.
Did you talk to Joe Brady before the draft? What do you know? Do you have a relationship with him, anything like
I
that?
don't know.
Kind of similar but different. You brought a lot of that early on with Joe. Why was that something you guys wanted to do? Bring some concepts Joe Burrow was familiar with from LSU in here.
Well, the exciting thing about Joe and watching LSU was, there was a lot of Saints elements to that, and that's really our background is being in the West Coast offense. And so, even though it's all evolved, everybody's evolved from the origination of that, and you see it all around the league. The principles all remain the same, and so again, there's a lot of things that maybe we had in the playbook that we didn't emphasize. That Joe was doing really well when he was in college and had a lot of familiarity left. That was a big part of starting during COVID because we were missing a lot of normal time you're going to have on the field. So you wanted him to be able to hit the ground running as a starter, and he handled that really well. And then our system really has evolved over the 3 years he's been here. From his first game here, I'd be interested to go back and watch. I'm sure there's some of the things still in there, but it's really evolved from year to year, really from segments of the season to segments of the season. That's just kind of life in pro football.
It was kind of more of a Saints feel anyway, right? When you came over, and it was more of a Saints.
That's an offense. That's a system that was very familiar to me. It was what I ran at college, what I did with Mike Sherman, Joe Philbin, Sean McVay had a lot of that because it's all the same system. So it's all very familiar when you watch it on tape.
The fact that Joe's about to pass Breeze as the all-time completion percentage, is that just coincidence, or is it a little bit of a system, or what?
Two really smart quarterbacks that do a great job being efficient, getting the ball out accurate, throwing time, do a great job handling protections. And that was really the first guy I was ever in awe of changing protections was Drew Brees. Sliding a protection away from Julius Peppers, who is a known rusher, and knowing that he was going to drop. That was my first real, oh my God, I don't know if I have what it takes to play in the NFL if you're willing to do that. Burrow's very similar. Sees defenses the same way and is able to make that stuff and protect himself. And, I'm sure Joe wants when he retires, the completion record would be more meaningful than, in the middle of his third year. But again, he's done such a great job of being decisive and accurate and playing on time that he's allowed us to stay on schedule as a play caller because he is so accurate and has such a high completion percentage.
With Hurst having a chance to play, do you feel like you've got more of the number ones, more of the weapons, and now you play sheet, you can really adjust?
Every game plan is a little bit different based on how we want to attack people and based on what the defense, majors in. And so Hayden's a big part of that when he's healthy. Again, I think part of the reason why his completion percentage is so high is he doesn't get greedy. He doesn't just say, I'm throwing to this guy on this play. I'm going to go where the defense takes me. And on top of that, we have weapons at all 5 spots. With Hayden out there, our bat, Joe Mixon and Samaje have, both. I think Samaje's got 38 and Mixon's maybe got 52 catches and all those receivers. So it gives him the flexibility to be able to know I got 5 winners at any given moment. I'm going to go where the defense takes me to go. And so he's able to maximize those weapons that he's got.
When you guys made the decision to start Cam over Eli in Cleveland, and then Chidobe gets hurt, and Eli goes from bench back to starter. One, how did he handle that experience?
Yeah.
Have you seen a change or a growth in him since that time?
Eli?
He and Eli.
Well, he had an injury in that Cleveland game leading up to that too. So, and then we happened to lose Cheeto in that game, and so Cam had that opportunity to cement himself in a starting role. Eli was back healthy when Cheeto came back. Cheeto was out. So it's really been a good group. I think Chuck has done just an awesome job with those guys, communicated and stay on top of them, and been pleased with the way those guys have competed, and given us a great chance to win in all these games because they've played some really good receivers. They've challenged those guys every step of the way. There's plenty of moments downfield. I can picture both, 29 and 20 downfield, competing for balls, and they've really done a nice job for us.
Joe Burrow say he doesn't make much of the whole MVP conversation, but if he has a breakout game against Josh Allen on Monday, how much does that kind of give him the vindication
conversation to maybe possibly beat out Mahomes for that award?
Yeah, I just focus on our guys, not so much who they're going against. We want Joe to have a great game so we win, and we're in the best position going forward. I certainly have made this comment before. I wouldn't trade him for anybody. So if that means he's the MVP of the league, then he's the MVP of the league. But that's not really where our focus is. It's just that's what's so great about these players is they're so unselfish. They would rather. I'm sure Joe would rather throw for 30 yards and win the game 3-0 than have a great game that we don't end up winning. So that's what's special about this group.
I would say that all across the entire board because obviously it's I think it's what third time this year for Burrow being player of the week, but it's the sixth time for the team in general.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of talent on this team, and at any given game, you can turn to a guy who's just going to pop up and have a great game and have that type of recognition that's possible. And that's awesome, again, as a coach, to be able to see all those guys be able to take advantage of the opportunities they get and maximize them and get those honors. I think that speaks really to the team that those guys, it's not just them, it's the guys around them, propping them up also and giving them those opportunities to maximize. And so, it is cool to see guys get the individual honors because I know the team feels that as well. Okay, thank you all.